What is up, guys? This is Tank Game Johnny Utah. We are in the IS-7 on Runeberg War. Now, we are defending. And as you guys know, defending can go one of two ways. It's either going to go kind of well or horrible. It never necessarily goes very well. And for the simple fact that, they send one guy up front who is behind a pile of rubble, and then, everybody who's out of your sight range tees off on you. And that's exactly the way to do it. And a lot of times it doesn't happen by design. It happens more or less by accident. Now, I have been playing this bad boy some more just to kind of get a feel for it. I have loads of tanks in my garage that I don't really play enough. And I don't know, this was just one of those situations where I said, you know what, I need to start playing the IS-7 more. We're going to make it happen. And we are. This video is a little unique because I managed to block the most damage I've ever blocked in a game. And the IS-7 is really something you can do it with if you manage to get hull down. Now, the thing is, if you can block the lower plate, you're going to be fine from everything but tank destroyers. But tank destroyers, most of the time, they can go right through the upper plate. And sometimes they can manage to do it without loading a premium round. Now, I am loath to stick my head out here. As you see, we're taking a lot of fire. We do have to be cautious. We don't really want to come out there and take a round. It's when you're doing this corner work here, guys, it's very, very tricky. We were discussing this in the mentor program the other night. What happens is you pull out so far, and there's a couple of guys ahead of you, and what happens is they pull back, leaving, to where you were just peeking out. Now when they pull back, your entire side is exposed. So, something to consider there as well. When you're doing the corner work, you have to be cautious. And, nothing is worse than, you've got 3 or 4 guys lined up at corner work, and, one guy just decides to pull into a side scrape. Yes, it makes sense, but it's not making sense for the rest of the team because they can't get in there to fight. This is why, folks end up getting pushed out of the way. Moving on. Took a shot right there at that gentleman. Tried to hit him in the cap. That's really all I can see. I can't see very, very much. He's in a very, very good hold down position. We are going to try to put a shot into his commander's hatch there. Hit my track. This is kind of a mix between hold down and side scrape. As you can see there, my right hand side is a little jankety. I'm moving my turret just a little bit because I'm a little concerned they might be able to hit my 2 hatches. But you know what? Unless you're looking down on the tank, those hatches are very, very difficult to hit. But this was kind of what I was concerned about. They're slightly above me. So I was a bit concerned they could put some rounds on my commander hatch. Or the gunner hatch. Either one. Trying to take some pot shots at this gentleman right here. It's just not working out for me. But you know what? We're going to keep the faith. We're going to keep the gun load. We're going to keep firing because that's really all we can do at this point. The gun's about to come up. Take another shot there. It's just not working out. But that's fine because, right here, we're going to spot a lot of guys if they decide to try to creep up. We've got the guys to our 6. We also have some guys here to our 9 o'clock along the left-hand side. Put a round in the side of that gentleman. You never really want to kind of try to dodge cover, like go from cover to cover in this situation. Even in a light tank, unless of course you're not detected, because I'm not really sure what that gent was thinking, but you have to be really careful because I'm not saying you can't, go from one piece of cover to the other. I'm just saying more often than not you're going to pay for it if you do. Moving on. We don't have a whole lot going on here at this point, but we don't necessarily want to pull out and move on because we know they're out there. They're like ninjas. They're there. We just can't see them. And I think it's knowing that they're there is kind of what gives us that edge. We took a little clutch shot there at that gentleman. Didn't really let the reticle go all the way in, but you know what? With this Soviet gun at that range and that small of a tank, sometimes even if you let the reticle go all the way in, it's still not going to work out for you. But that's fine. We made it happen. Well, actually, we didn't, but we took the shot. And you know what? Like Mrs. Fell-Handed says, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Very, very true. So you have to get out there and you have to put it down range. We're just maintaining here. The team is just kind of crumbling. That's kind of the sad point. You know, we're not going to go out without a fight, though. Put a round in him, get that gentleman off the map. We're going to hold it down here. I mean, we're going to hold it down like gravity. We're in this very, very good position. We're keeping the gun running. You know, we're just essentially holding the line. So many guys over here, though, have decent cover, so it's very difficult to get a good shot in. And I knew I was going to take something there. I at least knew somebody was going to fire at me, because I have guys moving in on me over here. I'm not very crazy about it. I don't have a large enough piece of cover to where I feel confident I can kind of move around behind it. I took a round at that gentleman right there, and we're just, you know, they are just pelting me with rounds the entire time. It's more or less the entire team versus little old me. Little known fact, if you run APCR, you cannot go through the E100's turret reliably, because I was in a game and I was throwing APCR at his turret and I bounced 3 or 4 in a row, and I was like, what am I doing with my lives? At any rate, you know, the armor on the hundo unangled on the turret is 279 effective. And if you're running 303 penetration, which is what we are with APCR, it's just, you know, the numbers don't add up. You can do it, but the probability isn't necessarily there. Poor Tortoise, man. These guys have a hard time not getting that little hatch shot. And finally we get defeated. It was going to happen eventually, but you know what? That's fine. No freebies, guys. Always go down without a fight. You don't want to just willingly give it up. You need to go out there, do your best, and go down with the ship. 2877 damage, 7320 blocked, 7,320 damage blocked. An amazing amount of damage blocked. And think of it this way. If I didn't block that damage, they would be shooting at someone else and possibly be pinning. That's a little consolation prize, if you will. Guys, hope you enjoy. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share. We'll see you next time.